Hey guys, Archelon here, back for the grand final of the First Blood Mid Lane Championship. Just take a moment to let that sink in. There's two players remaining for the title. Adenkor versus Inchikandi, best of three. Let's see what they've got in these dynamic matches. Game 1, Adenkor on Vayne, Inchikandi on Lee Sin that he just won the semi-finals with. Unfortunately, I DC'd at the start of this match, so the replay quality isn't quite as good because the file got a bit corrupted. But still sort of demonstrates, even though you can't see the health bar, the way that Adenkor tried to play coming right out of the gate. He was trying to use those Silver Bolt procs from as early as level 2 to keep Lee Sin low on health so that when he closed that gap, he'd have the ability to fight in 1v1, with Lee obviously being a counter to Vayne with a couple of debuffs that are really problematic, with the attack speed debuff and obviously revealing stealth once she hits level 6. If Vayne could end this before level 6, that was going to be the game plan, basically. So she wanted him to be low whenever he tried to engage, using Exhaust there on the first conflict to take less damage and make him take a bit more damage so that she didn't get punished too hard, couldn't be pushed out of lane too early. But as it is, Lee only has to close that gap a couple of times and he's going to beat down Vayne. He picked up first blood with a kick. Game 2, Adenkor on his faithful Nunu, Inchikandi picking Lee Sin again. And I really didn't want this match to turn into another grind, but these players came out aggressively, Inchikandi using that safeguard strategy right from the get-go again. Players trading life about evenly from the beginning. It was basically a movement speed debuff with a gap closer and an attack speed increase with an attack speed debuff. It was kind of silly the way the damage was breaking down at the start, but Inchikandi took an early turret shot, and both players were just running around on critically low health. Inchikandi got hit by Ignite, popped his heal. Adenkor had picked up Consume at this point, so things were starting to look good back on his side of the court, as his sustain was going to be a lot better than Lee's if he could stay in the lane for long enough. Inchikandi took a bunch of damage again, defensively used Ignite to make Nunu back off with minion damage, and then a last second save from that snowball, safeguarding onto a minion, just managing to keep Inchikandi alive there. Adenkor now without mana. Lee hitting him with that Q, deciding whether or not he thinks he can turret dive and kill Nunu before he dies. Ended up not going with it, just tried to hit him with the outer reaches of that Tempest, maybe pick up some free damage, hit by another snowball on just over 100 health. Adenkor using Consume once again, getting heaps more health than Lee at this stage, but Lee's damage obviously a lot higher if the two ever got in close, just hitting him again with the outer reach of that Tempest, trying to pick up as much damage as he can without the threat of minions or towers or close combat aggro from Nunu. Nunu hit him with another slow ball, kept him on that 100x HP, not wanting him to regenerate too much health with his defensive safeguard abilities and his free spell vamp and lifesteal. And eventually Adenkor decided he'd had enough once Lee came in too close, hitting him with yet another slow ball and just finishing off with auto attacks for First Blood at level 5. Which brings us to this, Game 3 of the Grand Final, Adenkor on Lee Sin, getting himself executed at level 1 because why not, and Inchikandi picking up Darius for the deciding game. Both players curiously using the champion the other guy won their semi-finals with. Who would prove the mastery in this game that would seal first and second place? There would be no more matches after this one, and the players didn't seem to mind, coming out really aggressively, which was very exciting for me as a spectator. Just trading blows right from the get-go, picking up more damage when they picked up extra skills. Inchikandi managing to grab Lee at one point when he looked like he was going to disengage, and then Lee using heal, maybe thinking that he could have baited Inchikandi there and going back into the fight, but in the end both players decided to disengage. Inchikandi started to look like he was having issues with his mana on Darius and wasn't going to be able to fight in a sustained fight, but it looked like he was doing enough damage with that bleed stacking and hitting Lee with auto attacks anyway, possibly missing out on the kill there just because he didn't have enough mana to use Decimate. Both players wisely decided to base at that point, but as soon as they came back to the lane, the aggression continued, just going at one another. Inchikandi trying to stack those Darius bleeds, both players going for it right now. This looked like it was going to seal the deal. Both players hit with Ignite, and then both disengaged, not knowing whether or not they were ahead. Adenkor missing with a Q, and Inchikandi leveling up off a minion, flashing over the minion line and smashing Lee with a Decimate and his ultimate to win the tournament right there instantly after attaining level 6. So well done, Inchikandi, for a really aggressive semi-finals and finals that picked up the tournament win for him. Here's all his wins through the tournament. That really close one in the top 8 against Telekinetic, that was pretty awesome. And managing to be the only person who could beat Oxy's Karma just 2 games in a row with really aggressive play from Lee Sin, even using Safeguard aggressively. And then in the finals, beating Adenkor on Vayne and Lee Sin to take the title. Well done, Inchikandi. Fantastic grand final games. Really aggressive. great dynamic matches to watch. So thanks to both those players, and thanks to everyone in the tournament for joining up. Couldn't have done it without you. It's been really fun to organize. It's been my pleasure to do it for you guys because you've been such a great bunch of players, and I will definitely be doing something again just because this one worked out so well. So watch this space. Basically, I'll be posting something on the original forum thread, so keep your eyes peeled out for that, and make sure you sign up for Season 2. There will be an interesting twist, which I'm not going to spoil just yet, but it should make the format just a little bit different and a little bit more exciting for Season 2. So thanks again to everyone for playing, signing up for this first run event. Congratulations to Intic Andy for taking out the title, and congratulations also to Adencore for his second place finish, only managing to be beaten by Intic Andy in that grand final, but still pulling out some great wins himself all the way through, and especially with that epic 40-minute game as Nunu against Pantheon in the top 8 matches. As always, thanks guys for watching, and I will catch you in Season 2 with some new videos, new challenges, new players, and much more excitement. Thanks guys. See you later.